Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, September the 17th, and we're here to look at the new releases that are being released this week, being published this week, and we look at them genre by genre. And today on Tuesday, we look at the grittier side of mysteries. We look at mysteries and thrillers. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I do sprints 3 times a week, every week. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Good morning, Kim. How are you feeling today? Get a sip of my tea. All right. Mysteries and thrillers. Do you want to go this way? I guess we are going this way. All right. First up, The Alaska Sanders Affair by Joel Dicker and translated by Robert Bonanno. April 1999. The body of Alaska Sanders is found on the shore of a lake near the quiet town of Mount Pleasant, New Hampshire. The young woman's death rocks the small community, but the murder is quickly solved. Within days, a suspect is identified and soon convicted. Case closed, or so it seemed. 11 years later, Marcus Goldman, celebrity author and amateur sleuth, picks up a thread that will unravel not only the open and shut case of Alaska Sanders, but the very fabric of his best friend, Sergeant Perry Gahalawood's life. Gahalawood, who led the original Alaska Sanders investigation, is hell-bent on finding the truth and setting the record straight. Teaming up with Marcus, he hopes to find redemption by solving the most intricate and trying case of his career. Translated from the French. Well, oh no. Oh, sorry, baby. Entitlement by Ruman Alam. Brooke wants. She isn't in need, but there are things she wants, a sense of purpose, for instance. She wants to make a difference in the world, to impress her mother along the way, to spend time with friends and secure her independence. Her job assisting an octogenarian billionaire in his quest to give away a vast fortune could help her achieve many of these goals. It may inspire new desires as well. Proximity to wealth turns out to be nothing less than transformative. What is money really but a kind of belief? Taut, unsettling, and alive to the seductive distortions of money, this book is a riveting tale for our new Gilded Age, a story that confidently considers questions about need and worth, race and privilege, philanthropy and generosity, passion and obsession. But is there a murder? That's all we care about. I hope you weren't hurt, Kim. Gaslight by Miles Joris Parafit, perhaps, and Sarah Shepard. Rebecca is living a peaceful life in Nevada with her husband Tom and their 2 young children. Her past is in the past, and she does a good job of keeping it there until her old friend Danny shows up on the doorstep one morning, throwing her sweet family life into turmoil. Danny is nothing but a reminder of what Rebecca fled all those years ago and all the secrets she's keeping from Tom. She tries her hardest to manage the situation and figure out what Danny wants, but all Rebecca seems to find are layers upon layers of deception. That deception has a lot to do with ISB, the cult Danny has been part of for 10 years, a group of spiritual seekers living deep in the woods, cut off from their families and friends, led by a charismatic leader who's a master of manipulation and mind control. Is Danny here because she's trying to break free from the cult, or is she on a recruiting mission? It's hard for Rebecca to know when Danny's telling the truth and when she's lying, but one thing's for sure, her presence might just blow up Rebecca's life. As she scrambles to figure out Danny's intentions, Rebecca begins to lose sight of the people she loves most and the danger closing in on them all. That's a not great title cover. Snake oil. I've ordered a retractable leash. Going to see if that might work. Okay. No, I missed the chair I was trying to sit in. Oof. Keep an eye on it. Snake Oil by Kelsey Ray Dimberg. One woman's elixir is another woman's poison. Rhoda West is Silicon Valley's favorite female CEO, the luminously charismatic founder of the fast-growing startup Radical, a wellness company whose core mission is the betterment of women's lives. Rhoda's Instagram page offers intimate glimpses of her personal life alongside promotions for the cult status products developed in the Radical's secretive lab. Danny Lang is a quester, as Rhoda calls her most avid followers. Danny found Radical at a low point in her life and took an entry-level job just to get in the door. When she volunteers to test a controversial new supplement, Danny wins an opportunity to rise in the company, even to work with Rhoda herself. I'm sorry, you don't put things in your body like that. Cecilia Cole is a quasher. She grinds away at the customer worship queue, resenting the entitled customers, the woo-woo radical jargon, and Rhoda's smiling hypocrisy. Cecilia, who suffers from a miserable chronic illness, knows that the remedies Rhoda sells can't cure real sickness. Just as Rhoda announces another fundraising round that could turn Radical into a billion-dollar unicorn, an anonymous Twitter account begins spilling snarky gossip from inside the startup. Is Rhoda really the nurturing leader she presents to the world, or a fraud? Or is this just another case of a woman in business being punished for her strength and audacity? Tensions rise and loyalties clash, then tragedy strikes during a company party. In the aftermath of what looks more and more like a crime, even the most faithful questers begin to wonder to what lengths Rhoda will go to protect her company. That's probably an appropriate title, too. End of row one. The Butcher Game by Elena Urquhart. Second in the Dr. Ren Muller series. Destruction follows the ruthless serial killer Jeremy Rose, the Bayou Butcher, as he heads north to evade capture for his horrific crimes. As he seeks safe harbor from a former friend, he remains focused on unfinished business with forensic pathologist Dr. Ren Muller, the only target who's ever escaped him twice. But not this time. He's determined to make Ren suffer, and he's promised to make her play by his own twisted rules. Still in shock over the harrowing encounter with her old nemesis, Ren is on forced medical leave in New Orleans, attempting to mend the deep scars of her traumatic past. But when growing evidence that Jeremy is leaving a fresh trail of mutilated victims across Massachusetts, Ren realizes the best way to heal is to renew her pursuit of this vicious killer. She sets her sights on Jeremy, only to discover that she may have walked directly into his trap. As their twisted cat and mouse game ratchets up to a violent clash of good versus evil, Ren prepares to sacrifice everything to bring Jeremy to justice. Another Lost Girl by Mary Burton. 10 years ago, 15-year-old Scarlett Crosby was held captive in a terrifying ordeal with a girl named Della. Scarlett escaped, their predator was killed, and Della simply vanished. Detective Kevin Dawson always wondered if Della even existed. A decade later, Scarlett is a successful artist. As hard as she tries to move on, the mysterious Della remains her inescapable obsession. Then a girl's body is discovered, a link to Scarlett's horrific past, and all her old traumas resurface. So does Della. Scarlet has seen her hiding in plain sight, the girl who knows Scarlet's secrets, who understands the desperate compromises Scarlet made to endure hell, and who, like Scarlet, embraced the darkness to survive. As a suspicious Detective Dawson once again comes calling and obsessions turn deadly, Scarlet fears there isn't a living soul she can trust. As for Della, who's watching from afar, what could she possibly want from Scarlet now? And what new nightmares lies ahead? As I say, this is the grittier side of mystery on Tuesdays. Lots of serial killers today. Cold Trail by Taylor Moore, fourth in Garrett Cole series. On leave from the DEA, Garrett Cole is ready to settle down and build a stable foundation for his family, but that's easier said than done. In order to give his girlfriend Lacey and adopted son Asadi the life they deserve and get out from under crippling debt, some risks have to be taken, and shocking alliances have to be formed. First, Garrett partners with an old nemesis to form his new energy venture, Savage Exploration. Then his estranged, aloof sister Grace reemerges, keen on brokering a contract to connect the Coal Ranch energy play to a pipeline on the Texas coast. But the company's earlier success is endangered when an explosion at a nearby natural gas plant injures several workers. Garrett begins to suspect foul play and embarks on a winding investigation, teaming up with his old war buddy Kai Stoddard and reaching out to his CIA contacts, uncovering a sinister conspiracy overseas, etc., etc. The rest is just blurbage. Floor 24 by Martin Hill Ortiz. Manhattan, 1926. A pen falls from a high rise and shatters at the feet of New York World reporter and World War vet Alan Priest. Its broken barrel bears the name and office of Fritsch Designs on the 24th floor. On a whim, he investigates. As he reaches floor 24, he finds a window open and a corpse on the sidewalk below. A gawker from a nearby office window recognizes the corpse by her dress, sees Alan looking out the victim's window, and screams. But from the 24th floor, you can't really hear that. Someone bolts from the office, and a hasty pursuit ends in a policeman being hurled to his death and Alan being accused of both murders. He seeks shelter with the help of Gentlemen's Club hostess Lorraine Marquette, which lands both of them in police custody. But the mob king of New York has the police in his clutches, and soon Alan and Lorraine find themselves released solely to uncover the secret behind Fritsch Designs, a secret that could cost them their lives as they evade assassins and brave the lethal heights of a city growing at a mad pace. End of that row. Her Last Walk Home by Patricia Gibney, 14th in the Detective Lottie Parker series. When a young woman's body is found on a patch of wet grass in the early hours of the morning, Detective Lottie Parker mourns the young life so brutally snatched away. Looking at the victim's flimsy, strappy top, damp from the dew and soaked with blood, it is clear that this young girl never came home from a night out. Lottie's heart breaks as she thinks of the girl's parents finding their daughter's empty bed, and she vows to catch the murderer. The young woman is soon identified as Laura Nolan, and Lottie watches the blame dread from her mother Diana's face when she tells her the terrible news. Diana reveals that Laura was on a date the night she was killed, but she doesn't know who with. And Laura's empty bedroom with makeup scattered across her dressing table offers no clues. Lottie and her team rush to trace Laura's last moments, but hope at a potential breakthrough turns to horror for Lottie when another young woman, Shannon Kenny, is reported missing, last seen climbing into a taxi with a broken light close to the same bar. But then Lottie discovers a connection between Laura and Shannon that totally overturns everything she thought she knew. The killer didn't stalk these two women at random. He knew exactly who they were and where they would be. But can Lottie stop him before he strikes again? I Dreamed of Falling by Julia Dahl. Roman Grady is the sole reporter for the local newspaper in a tiny Hudson Valley town, a town so small that every store opening and DUI is considered newsworthy. But when Roman's longtime girlfriend, Ashley, the mother of his 4-year-old son, is found dead, he realizes he had no idea what was really going on in her life. And when he starts asking questions, he's not prepared for the answers. What was Ashley doing at the cliffside home of her troubled ex girlfriend? How did no one in a house full of people see what happened to her? And why does it seem like everyone in town suddenly has something to hide? And why didn't you marry her if she had your 4-year-old child? As Roman and his mother dig into Ashley's last few months, the truth they uncover threaten to expose painful secrets, the kind of secrets that can get you killed. Out of Service by Joseph Haywood. Just when longtime Michigan conservation officer Grady Service is certain that he's seen it all, he learns once again that he hasn't. After so many decades protecting his state's natural resources, here he still is, undercover yet again. Not in a case he's developed, but dumped into a case by the feds with his governor's approval. And as time passes, he can't figure out if what he's buried in is truly a religious nationalist militia group set on overturning the U.S. Constitution, or one man's cash cow, a sort of half-assed redneck Ponzi aimed solely at fattening a single bank account. This is 12th in a series, etc., etc. The rest is blurbage also. Proof by Beverly McLaughlin. And it looks like they could only pay for 2 colors. No, there's more than that. There's gray and black and white. Yeah. I'm just kidding. This is by Beverly McLaughlin, third in the Jilly Truitt series. Jilly Truitt has always put her job as a criminal defense lawyer first, but becoming a new mother has changed her priorities. For the first time in her career, she's taking long overdue time away from her firm and the day-to-day grind of cases, enjoying the quiet delights of motherhood. Then the daughter of celebrity pop star Trist Jones goes missing, and his ex-wife Katie is charged with kidnapping. Everyone from the police to the media believe Katie is guilty. Her reputation was ripped to shreds in the tabloids during their divorce and subsequent custody battle. Call it mother's intuition, but Jilly has her doubts. Katie's whole life was about being a mother, and she and Trist were very public about their problems conceiving, shining a spotlight on their use of a surrogate. After everything she went through to have a child, Katie claims she would never do anything to hurt her daughter and begs Jilly to take her case. Jilly agrees, but Katie's prospects don't look good. Police have found a witness who says he saw Katie with Tess in the afternoon she disappeared, and they are close to giving up the search. The best chance Jilly has of clearing Katie's name is to find the missing girl. But as the weeks go by, the police begin to suspect that Tess might be dead. With the threat of a murder charge hanging over Katie's head, Jilly must find the real kidnapper and save Tess before it's too late. Are we looking at the surrogate mother? End of that row. Remember Her Name by Lisa Reagan, 21st in the Detective Josie Quinn series. Good for her. Detective Josie Quinn lifts the baby from the pram, holding her close and gently soothing her. Josie scours the scene for the sweet little girl's mother, but the park is deserted. Glancing down, something catches her eye. Nestled among the child's soft pink blankets is a Polaroid photo, the corner smudged with blood. The search for Cleo Tate has Josie and her team in a chokehold. The abandoned newborn needs her mother, and every second counts. Now results show the blood belongs to her. The blurred photo of a body of water is Josie's only lead. But what does it mean, and where was it taken? The answer is just within reach, but with Cleo's husband lying about his movements that day, Josie can't see it. Then it finally clicks. Cold Heart Creek, a crime scene from Josie's past that she will never forget. Josie is terrified by what she finds there. Cleo's body, cold as ice, with a second photo of a new location. A twisted killer is playing a devilish game, and when Josie finds a second innocent victim at the site of a different case she solved, she begins to suspect that she herself is at the very heart of it. But why? As more bodies and more photos follow, Josie must dig deep into the secrets and mistakes of her past to get one step ahead. The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave. Liam Noon was many things to many people. To the public, he was exacting, self-made hotel magnate fleeing his past. To his three ex-wives, he was a loving, albeit distant family man who kept his finances flush and his families carefully separated. To Nora, he was a father who often loved her from afar, notably a cliffside cottage perched on the California coast from which he fell to his death. The authorities rule the death accidental, but Nora and her estranged brother Sam have other ideas. As Nora and Sam form an uneasy alliance to unravel the mystery, they start putting together the pieces of their father's past and uncover a family secret that changes everything. Last one. The Solstice by Matt Brawley, seventh in the Detective Louise Blackwell series. In a cave near Weston, potholers discover what they think are human remains. The bones are identified as belonging to Hugo Latchford, a boy who went missing a decade ago and whose parents belonged to a quasi-religious cult masquerading as environmental activists. It's not long before rumors that he was sacrificed in a midsummer ritual resurface. Returning to duty for maternity leave, DI Louise Blackwell finds herself leading the investigation, soon discovering that Hugo's parents are still alive and the cult very much still active. As she begins to fathom the ghoulish depths of the group's pagan beliefs, new Mother Louise is profoundly disturbed by the case, and with the summer solstice fast approaching, she's faced with the terrifying prospect that the group might be preparing for their next sacrifice. And that's all we got for mysteries and thrillers this week. Why is there always butterflies near our drink? All righty. Well, so tomorrow we'll be looking at romance, and on Thursday we'll be looking at fantasy and science fiction. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Apologize, I got to start then. I'm on Mountain Time, which puts my start time at 6. I work till 5. To drive home is about 20 minutes, and I've got to do a quick walk with Keo after that. So I get here as soon as I can. I sometimes start a few minutes early, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell because sometimes that works. So you'll know when we get started. We do those sprints for 2.5 hours. I do them 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evening and the Saturday afternoon. Hope you have a, Keo has heard the words. Hope you have a very good day. Hope to see you later or tomorrow. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day and God bless.